No, I don't want to enter. Okay, guys, welcome back to the underestimated Bink or Bust 100K Poker Challenge. We have 1 and all, 2 and all 100 tables up in the 50 table this morning. Bankroll is sitting at 3,900, so we've basically made it to our first goal of 4K playing at a 100. Obviously, there's only so many tables we can play, which is obviously why we play multiple stakes, just to get some more tables up. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't realize it wasn't on the camera. Copy the link. And so get this pulled up. Link 3. Okay, fold 3 deuce. So yesterday we made about $100, give or take, which brought us to the 3,900 mark. We raised the ace-10. Okay. Or that's today. So yeah, we didn't put in much volume at all yesterday, just what you saw on stream. But basically we won 120, 500 hands. Very low volume though, unfortunately. So we are going to need to work on getting our volume up in order to complete this challenge. I've just been scanning through my Poker Manager lately, and since I think November 15th is when we've been tracking lately. I think we made some big improvements in our game at that point, so it's kind of been tracking since then. And basically for NL50, we're beating the rate for 3.2 BBs per 100, and NL100 we've been beating the rate 2.1 BBs 100. So basically that puts us at win rates, pre-rate, pre-rate win rates at around like 14, 15 BBs for NL50, and then 12, 13 big blinds for NL100, which is all pretty good. Definitely some improvements in the big blind, I think. Can probably drastically improve that. We just fold here to the double barrel with the king, with the 5, queen 9 suited, we'll just defend. We will check fold the king. Sometimes worth calling here because most of the aces check back and this is pairs bet turn, so it actually might be a spot to call the king high. This is a board will actually check a lot, even with the flush draw out of position, flop raiser. So we're gonna go ahead and check call this one, and then we're gonna lead out back pot on the turn, and we are gonna double barrel here, and now we're gonna block that river. It's good. I was gonna say we should have the best hand here. He just calls. King clubs, ace of clubs will probably raise most times. The queen 9 off, we just defend. Queen 6 fold. Oh, 10-5. We'll go ahead and check raise this time. We do have some backdoors. We do have 2 overcards that we do block the 8-9. So there's another NL50 table we're waiting on right now. So that's your NL100 table, sorry, that we're waiting on. So that's okay. As long as we can get 5 or 6 hands up, 5 or 6 tables, I'm relatively happy in the mornings. And that'll actually be 3 NL100 tables, so that's even better. And we will start table starting soon. Looks like a bad beat jackpot went off this morning. Congrats to those guys. Alright, 7-3 we're just folding. Get this out of our way here. Gotta make sure. Running out. Let's try to keep in mind to not have the stream running in the background. Let's see this. It should be live. It'll be live in 30 seconds. So we are on a 4 to 5 minute delay. I think I can decrease that to a point. But they got this new feature with buying time banks. Not exactly sure how that works and how many you can buy. We're going to continue barreling here with the ace queen suited. We do brick the river. Yeah. I think given our hand, we probably just give up. Try to block most of the draws for him to have. And if he is on a draw, we have the best hand. So, are you kidding me? We got to give him a good play there. That's ridiculous. Station. Called pre-flop with 7 deuce suited. Bottom pair. Called flat c-bet. Called big turn barrel. King 5 deuce is just a range bet. Even with jacks, we just bet it. Ace 8 suited, we raise. Okay, the 4 rolls off. Ace 3 gets there. He's gonna have a bunch of 4-5. Actually, that improves. He's gonna have some 5-6. He's gonna have 7s and 8s and 10s. He'll have some King X as well. I think we can double barrel this though. I think there's still enough cards that are calling that we're ahead of. And I'm gonna raise the 5-6 suit or the 5-6 offsuit here. Flush draw the curves full is just probably got set or ace 3 or something. The odds of him bluffing there are pretty like next to nothing. People don't check raise turn enough with bluffs. So we actually raise and then he leads out again. So we're not gonna try to bluff. We'll just try to call and hit our hand. And then we just fold. Pretty much he just has a jack if he keeps betting there. And we're going to be check folding this board. Well, he goes really small. It's tempting to raise that because he goes so small. I guess we'll call. And he goes that tiny with the ace high. Then he checks back turn. And I think we bluff here now. We have lots of 5x in our range. 5-6, 5-7, 4-5, ace 5. All those hands are calling the flop. And he went really small in the flop. It's pretty indicative of a shitty hand. So we can raise that. This 7 deuce call down was a little bit tilting, I'm not gonna lie. Small pot, but still super tilted. The 4s, I think it's fold this time. Let's see jacks and 10s get another ace. Oh boy, one time. I'd love to even be at the table for one of these bad beat jackpots. It's been a long time. Speaking of very interesting, pocket jacks is less likely now though, but like could have jacks, could have 10s, could have queens still calling. Meg Allen could definitely have 10s, jacks, queens, king. If he does, he's obviously calling that bet, but he would have called by now, so Fortunately, no bad beat. Ace king, yeah, anything nines, close. All right, let's just adjust that though. It says station. Excuse me. These king off and big line versus UTG open. We're gonna ISO the ace four suited. That's not like terrible or anything. You definitely call ace king off in the big blind. It's under the gun open, at least half the time or something like that. So nothing wrong with it. Just something to note that he will be doing that. And he is a marked fish, so he's probably just doing it because it's ace king and he doesn't want to raise a non-paired hand, and not because it's like another GTO. Still do have a bit of this cold floating around, unfortunately. It's a pretty dry board. We'll go half pot here, and then we're going to double barrel anything that's a face card. Okay, king 9-10 with the king queen is good enough for value. Okay, get called. So double check this. It is called. It is flop called. Okay, we're gonna double barrel on the 4. Queen 10 off from the cutoff will raise. Okay, 4 is really good. We're beating like the 9-10 type hands. Next question becomes, can we get a value bet in here? All of his draws fold. Thing is, he has like king 8 right out of the big blind. There's all kinds of, yeah, that's the issue though. When he does check shove. No. So he called, and then check shove river. I doubt he has a 4. We beat 9-10. We do lose to king 10 and king 9. We beat king jack. But generally, nobody's bluffing here. Hearts miss, so it is tempting to call the king just because the hearts miss. Again, you'd have to assume they're willing to bluff. Which, unless I can see some hands from this guy, I would say he probably won't be bluffing that river. But it could also just be a check there on the river. But I think against a fish, that maybe that's too tight. It's tough. Without top pair 10 kicker, it's preferred to get 3 streets of value. But I think in this case, there's enough like king 5, king 6, king 7, king 8 suited. All those are in his range. There's some 10x's in his range. There's like jacks in his range sometime. And there's a bunch of busted draws. So I think betting is fine. I just don't know if we should be calling there. No run it twice. It's like we're gonna lose the flip. Nice. Check, shove, river on 9, 10, king 4, 4. Out of big blind at the flop. Caller. Reverse. See bet. Double barrel. River. Okay. Now we didn't see his hand, but just a good note to take. Is that okay? You know, he's called. Check called flop, check called turn, and then raised river. The issue is like 9s and 10s are check raising turns a lot. 2 pairs are check raising turns a lot. Jack queens check raising, I think, turns a lot just out of position. Because there's so many hands I'm going to continue it that it's going to be a mistake not to. On this board, I think it's okay to bet the 8. and just give up here now. And snap call. The thing with the snap call is generally doesn't even, he's not consider raising at all. But I think bottom pair, generally we just want to bet. Especially on, you know, it is a pretty wet board though, so it's a little bit dicey on whether or not we should be. See bet here, just check in there. This board we just check. And we fold the 9-5. And we'll check again. So he doesn't have a jack, but a jack would have bet by now, of course. Running good. We could 4-bet here, or just call the 10s. I think we'll just call this time. Okay, king 10-5. It's a good flop for us in position. Theoretically, he should be bet shoving a lot of the time. So we're gonna call and just hope for a brick on the turn. Diamond comes, kills all the action as usual. And we are going to call the ace high here. He checks. King 3. Oh, perfect. Gets it luckily. Chicken parm with the squeeze. It's actually kind of a fold, I think. We're going to bet 10s here once he checks us. We have a set, so if he checks shoves, we have to call. There's nothing else to do. Generally speaking, he's just going to be check folding there. Here we get raised, but with 2 pair heads up, we're just going to make the call. Oh, that's a good hand. Okay, we fold the ace 10. There's the raise and the squeeze. Try to keep an eye on these tables. Can't seem to get on this one yet. But usually around 6, we get a couple players that join up. Okay, we're gonna bet here. No 3-bet free, so he doesn't have a lot of aces in his range. Okay, we raise the queen 10. That was a good flop. No action though. Check the 10-4. We raise the 3 suited. We're going to bet here. 10 on the return. When he calls this flop, I doubt he's folding the turn, so I think we're better to just check back and try to hit our hand. There's just going to be too many 10x, Jack X, King X that call the turn as well. And then we're kind of giving up a lot on the river and the flush misses. Okay, raise the queen 10. And I think we'll just c-bet big on this board and then give up. And this board, when we do that, we'll go a little bit bigger. It is relatively dry though. And we are going to double barrel the ace. Snap calls. Good check. Crazy they didn't consider shoving turn with 2 pair there. Okay, we are open-ended. I guess we just check though. Sid the Knitted Kid checks back on the 10-6 Jack of Diamonds. I think we'll just overbet here now. And we're going to overbet on the King Jack. And we're going to overbet when checked around on the King on the turn with the open ender. Okay, this is c-bet here. Heat on the river calls. I just expect him to either be stationing with the flush draw there, or to have a king. Ace 9 suited will squeeze, pocket 9s will raise, and because of that, we're just going to give up. Okay, calls 2 pair. Great. And the Ace 4 suited we squeeze, or Ace 2 suited we squeeze. And this guy comes firing, so we'll let that go. So this guy's a whale, but he does like to do a lot of sort of random stuff. Raise the Ace 5. Pocket 9s. They're actually just a fold here, pretty much always. We're gonna 3-bet the King 4 suited. Here with the gut shot, we'll just go half pot. Alright, flop king. King on this board. If I just check back here, can stop flushes. The king 9 will just let it go. Yeah, we're just looking to check down here mostly. This is a really small 3-bet, so yeah, just gonna call it. And then he pretty quickly checks to us. So, just want to think this through. We're either going to run a big bluff here, snap checks and snap calls, so we're just going to be done with the hand here. Not really sure what to make of the snap check and then the snap call. Could be like jacks, queens with like a heart, where he knows for sure he's like, fuck, another king calls. So he like angrily checks, but then isn't going to fold, or he has like the jack and queen of hearts, so he has enough equity to kind of check down. Either way, we're just kind of done with the hand here. We're aces without a heart. That's fine too. Some people will go smaller with aces specifically because they want the action. So that no doesn't necessarily mean that's, but it's just something to take note of, keep in mind. I think we value bet the king on the turn now. Let's check this twice. We flop top pair here. 4 ways. I think I'd rather do that for value right now against a bunch of big blind callers. And they both called. They called relatively quickly, so I think king's a good card for us to rep. However, jack queen gets there. I think we'd have to bet and barrel river and hope that they fold. I just think they probably are not folding between the two of them. We'll either get a cheap showdown, but I don't think they fold often enough. So that's good. We'll take a chop. 10-7. Could have won the hand by barreling that kick on the turn, maybe. King 9 suited, we're squeezing. Ace Jack with 3-bet. Against fish, we're just going to do a small continuation bet here. They're just going to mass overfold there, so I think defaulting to small c-bets and 3-bet pots against fish is fine, especially when we're excuse me, in position. 5-handed, button versus cutoff, we're 3-betting the ace 10. Folding 5-3, folding 7-4, jack 8 we can raise. Fold the jack deuce off. See if there's any other tables opening. Not right now. We can try to get another NL50 table going. So I'm not really willing to play NL100 heads up. Sid the Nitty Kid, jack 8's just a fold. Sid the Nitty Kid. 7%. Yeah. Just super under 3-betting. I've recently realized that I'm still massively under 3-betting out of the big blind against button opens. So So that's something we're going to be working on improving over the course of this challenge, of course. King 3 suited, just fold it. Jack 4, fold it. Fold the 9 deuce. And we'll just ISO against the small blind limp. Fold the A6 will fold. Fold the deuce. And deuce we just let go. King 10 takes it. We'll just fold the queen deuce off. Okay, pocket jacks in the top right. So we're gonna raise. We will let this go. Ace 8 suited. Could cold 4 bet sometimes. I think I'd rather do it with like Ace 5 though. Ace 4. Okay, it's good flop. So nobody 3 bet. So once Sinner 70 calls, I think pocket 9s, pocket 10s are all going to be 3 betting. So there's gonna be a lot of like Ace 10, King 10, Jack 10, Queen 10 in their ranges, 7 8s, Jack Queens, stuff like that. Ace is not the best card, so I think we flip to a block bet here on the turn. Damn. Basically, that's going to force Sinner to bluff us. Because he's never going to raise a weak ace there once we block bet, at least not often. He's just going to call, so it gets us to showdown easy. Keeps getting value out of like a 9x and a 10x, because they're going to call that small bet a lot, 7 8, Jack Queen. If he's going to bluff a hand, it'd be like a Jack Queen or something, or 7 8. Jack Queen might be worth calling. You beat the 9 and the 10, you have so much equity. Whereas the 7 8, you can't hit a pair to win. The Jack Queen, you could. So I think Jack Queen probably calls more on the turn, and like a 7 8 is a good bluffing hand. Because you don't have that much equity. There's a flush draw out there and everything else. But the Jack Queen, it's like, you hit the king, I could make 2 pair, and then he gets all the money. A jack or a queen could give you the best hand if I just have like a 10x, or pocket jacks and you hit your queen. So yeah, there's just like significantly more value in the Jack Queen. So I think you're better raising or 7 8 and calling Jack Queen. I think if you raise Jack Queen and then I shove, like that's like a absolute worst outcome. Whereas if you bluff raise 7 8 and I shove, it's not a big deal. You just fold. You don't have enough equity or too much equity to worry about losing out on. And I am going to value bet the 7 here. The thing is, we do, when turn goes check check, we do stab and bluff rivers a lot, which means we also need to be value betting pretty thinly, which includes third pairs, second pairs, ace highs, kind of stuff. Otherwise, people can just start picking you off really light, and then you're in bad shape. I'm just going to check fold this king without a spade. Ace king suited will be a 3 bet. Call the ace 8 6 of diamonds. And 3 bet the ace king suited. I was gonna say, he'll be c betting this board like 100%. Okay, we're gonna squeeze here with the aces. Fold here. We're just going to call the 8 6 suited. And on this board, I think, even with flush, not flush draw, we just, well, I think we're going to bet small against the fish. I think he folds enough at a time to just bet small here. And he goes full pot again. You guys are going to let it go. So he does check raise us. I think for him to check raise here, he's gonna have 2 pair or a set or a straight. Obviously with the nut flush and 2 overcards. For the times he maybe has 6, 7, 5, 6, 8, 6. We're gonna call. That is a really big check raise. It's okay. We're gonna smash the nuts on the turn. I think he'll probably just shove sets here. Okay. Now there's obviously, if he's bluffing equity, we don't shove. I guess we're in position to call. Just gives him a chance to keep ripping his sets 2 pairs in, I guess. And we just have the nuts, so we call. That's fine. Straight flush draw, check raise, no big deal. We actually had the best hand all the way through. Yeah, not much to do there. We ran into the nut flush and it hit. That's that. Obviously in that scenario, if we shove turn, he's not folding. Yeah, I think if we rip turn, it's hard to say because he's so pot committed. Like, I think even if he has a set, he calls. The issue is when he's just airballing, we lose out on like $34, whereas I think he'll just probably stick that in on the river in hopes that we fold. But it's kind of an awkward bet sizing. I think probably, oh, I don't know. In my mind, he should be ripping turn or checking turn. Because like you're just in his position to make a big mistake on the river now. You know, for 36%, you know, of a big 100 big blind stack. So was that Sinner who we just stacked? Raise, he calls. We're just gonna go 2x pot here. And we're gonna check call the jacks. The idea with the overbets and single raise pots is you basically want to make their middling strength hands sort of indifferent. Alright, and we're just gonna go for a small value bet here. And here with it flush draw, we can just raise, but we're gonna let that go. Yeah, open-ended here on this board. It is a board we check a lot. Our hand, I think, likes betting more than checking back. We have enough equity there to bet. And with the flush draw out there, I think our hand just played better as a semi-bluff. And on this river, when he checks back, turn, and then we value bet small and he raises us, I doubt he does that with an 8 or with a 7, and I doubt he does it with a king when he checks back turn. It's kind of like he has a 5 or he has air, but I think the reality is that people don't bluff enough, so until I have a reason to believe this guy's willing to bluff, that makes... Okay, how many aces are going to fall when we have jacks here? Okay, we're just done with his hand. We 3-bet, he calls. We bet again, he calls. And we're just looking to showdown here. Alright, that's good, river. That was ace 10. That's fine. We should just ISO the jack 7 pre-flop. I am going to double barrel here, just because the pot's so small, and I think his range is going to be weak enough to just fold a lot on the turn after limping the small blind pre-flop. Raise the ace 9, fold the 6 deuce, raise the ace deuce, fold the 10 7. Okay, let's just check out the session here so far. Not bad, about 100. 8-6 fold. The 8-5 suited will let go. We'll just try to show down the ace high here. take it down versus queen 9. Did he call that flop or what happened there? Raise pre and then it just went check. Okay, that's fine. Okay, fold the queen 3. This is the 100k Bink or Bust Bankroll challenge, guys. If you're watching this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave some comments, ask some questions. Things are picking up here. Currently with this session running, we've hit our 4k first goal towards that 100k, which was basically to get to NL 100 with a 4k bankroll in the first month of the challenge. So we're on track for that. And goal number 2 is basically to double that, get to 8k in the second month. So we're a little ahead of schedule, which is good. It's a good flop for kings, no action though. King 4 suited. I just let this go with his stack size. We will ice up queen 4 suited. Misclick there, should go one size bigger. Okay. Ace jack suited, we squeeze. Fold here. And this board's actually relatively dry. I think I'm just going to go half pot here. So lucky charm snap calls again. We're just going to give up. Once he cold calls the ISO, just kind of moving on from the hand. And then quickly calls the C-bet. So we ISO. On this board, I'm actually going to go small and then double barrel. And then I'll probably just shove the river if hearts miss. He just fold. Okay. And we threw that king jack. I usually go like 7. Anything that's 2 to 2.2, we go 7. And then when you get to 2.5, I just go 8 in position. Okay, jack 9 will fold. You do get called by some worse hands, obviously. Ace jack mostly just folds pre-flops. We're not overly worried about that. And cut off first button, you expect queens, kings, aces to 4-bet. So we probably have the best hand here most of the time. It's a pretty dry board. I'll actually go small. We're going small to keep in like 4x, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, ace like 3, those types of hands. We anticipate to go pretty small. Here we just fold. Here, I don't think we need to overbet with just a jack. We can definitely go for 2 streets here, minimum. Then we can decide river. He has some jack 10, some jack queen. And this guy, yeah, he's going to fold a lot. And when if he like shoves turn, basically it kind of becomes a numbers game. Value hands, which are mostly just sets, and then combo draws with like check shove turn instead of just check calling out of position. Because like theoretically, you never really have odds to check call your combo draws without implied odds of stacking them. But generally, with your combo draws, you just want to like rip the turn if you're gonna call big bet on the turn. If they go really small, then obviously you have more of a decision to just check call and go to showdown. Those checks around and then he full pots river. We hit the 8, I think it's just a spot we have to call. Of course, he just has a straight. And 9-7 suited is pretty loose raised, but mini players and pickle fishes kind of make it worth playing. No other tables up and open yet. Okay, the king jack. 3 betting against small blind, and the button opens. Small blind goes call. You in position. That's a good flop for us, bad flop for him. Theoretically. He leads into us. We're just going to call the flush draw. And here we're going to go half pot, and we are going to barrel the turn as well. Okay, he leads into us again. Again, just small bet. We just call down here. It's a good river. Okay, we're going to bet the king jack. checks to us, so good chance he just has an ace. So we're not going to get too big here. Just go like 60% value. Okay, it's interesting. We're basically playing board here. When he check raises, we expect he has a set or two pair or just like a decent combo draw, but with our hand we just fold. So Rampage plays a lot of hand, folds a whole bunch. It's kind of what we're seeing here. Yeah, no value there on the river either. No. Okay, raise the 8-7 suited. Fold the 9 deuce. King of hearts, 7 of spades. We'll just let that go. Sid the Nitty Kid 3 bets. And Meg Allen calls. We do 4 bet, I think, this hand some portion of the time. Sid the Nitty Kid, that was at 13%, so he is 3 betting more, but I think when Meg Allen cold calls, I think we can call here more. It's hard to say. I'll have to double check that. I don't think like 8-7 suited is not overly dominated by his cold call range. He does have a lot of like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, which kind of just kills us. Alright. 3 bet the 7-8 suited here. The 4s, it's a big 3 bet, so we will just fold them. And we are going to let the 7-8 suited go here. King Queen suited will be a 3 bet. Alright, so Sid the Nitty Kid is less nitty, I think, maybe, than I thought. I'm getting 3 bet more from him. Now he's 4 bet us. Just fold the 7-8 suited there. With the Jack of clubs, we are going to bet, and when we do c-bet this board, we go big. If he does call, just snap call. So what is going on today? I'm going to call the Jack 10 suited here. Very, Alright, and we're just going to check fold King Queen, unfortunately. Snap checks behind. Check fold King Queen here. I guess I should. Good lord. And we are going to call the Jack 10 suited there. Okay, it's a good flop. Let's hope Rampage has got kings or aces. We'll just check call down. Okay. We don't want him to have aces though. It's like a really bad thing. Kind of the worst run out. Well, it's not the worst run out. I just mean if he shoves there, we'll just call it. Well, then call. But you haven't yet. Alright, we're gonna try this again here against Sid the Nitty Kid. We just fold the chicken parm spew in there. Kings, yeah, it's just they're just not spewing. That's the issue. Oh my goodness. So we 3-bet, 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 brick flop, brick flop, brick flop. All right, we're gonna try again. We're gonna try to 3-bet him to win the hand again here. It hasn't happened yet. Oh my god. Give it a couple tilts here. Alright. So I don't know, what sure what to do. 3-betting a whole bunch on this table. 3-betting a whole bunch on this table, but like, attempt to steal so low there. That's super high there. It's pretty normal here. Super high 3-bet there. So Sid the Nitty Kid's definitely not nitty. Let's see how much that's. I was gonna say like losing all those 3-bets is just gonna destroy your back there. Okay, fold the ace-8, fold the 9-deuce, fold the queen-deuce, 14, 31. Raise the king-jack. The ace-8 off, I think I just want to 3-bet blind versus blind. Fold the queen-jack, the 8-6 suited. Oh man, we are not hitting any flops here. This board we're just gonna check back. We're gonna look, basically looking for a delayed continuation bet on any kind of face card. Like that, we just fold in. Fold the ace-3. Fold in the king-5. Oh, excuse me. Okay. And the king-7 will fold. Fold in the jack-6. Fold the 5-3. Fold the ace-10. Okay, raise the queen-jack offsuit. I think there's just too much value in 3-betting here. Good lord. Getting a little pokey. Okay, raise again. Queen-7. Fold 7-4. Another really good flop. We just check fold. Fold the ace-deuce. 1-10-6. Fold the 7-4. Fold the 8-5. Okay, fold the 6-5 off. Fold the 5-3. Fold the 8-5. Whoops. Out of our way. Fold the jack-10 and the 5-deuce. Fold the queen-7. Fold the jack-6. Oh, a lot of fold in there too. Shameless. Fold the jack-5. Oh, Cam's back. Try to stack him again. Okay. Hold the ace-deuce offsuit and the 5-deuce. Okay, jack-10 suited, we're gonna do mostly 3-betting here. Fold it to us, so we raise. 8-deuce again, we're just folding. Okay. This board, just go half pot. Sid the Nitty Kid, we're going to try 3-betting him again. And blasting the flush drawn, jack-10 suited. Call the 3s this time, mix that up, and we break it. Yeah, it bolts up, no problem. Fold the 8-4. Okay, so I feel like he checks every single big blind. Like when he raises small blind gets called, I think he does a lot of checking. Queen deuce suited will just defend with. Okay, checks again. We're just gonna go with the overbet at this point. I think we have some 8s here, for sure. Okay, this board, backdoor flush draw, and a gut shot. Okay, so it's checked around. We actually bink a deuce on the turn. Go for value. Sid the Nitty Kid's never checking back a flush draw on the flop. And I think we're just going to 2x this board. Once it goes quickly check flop, quickly check turn, I think overbetting is the only thing we can do. Obviously, when he shoves there, he's just slow playing. I'm a monster, I would assume. Don't expect him to be bluffing there very often. Raise pre and then check, 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 check. Overbet, massive bet. I was gonna say, I wonder how spewy this guy is. Okay, we are gonna 4-bet here with the ace-4 suited though. Take it down. I've never seen this guy before. Big minus, big forward, yeah. Don't recognize any of those names, so. Okay. River loser open limps again. We obviously ISO the queens. It's like rampage stacks canned. Oh wow, ace king with king on the turn. That's gross. Terrible player to take out 2 fish too. We're not going to let him get away with just a tiny bet there. So we're going to 3-bet the ace-10 suited. We're going to raise his lead there. Here in this 3-bet pot, I think we do a lot of checking. I'm actually just going to go for a check shove here with a nut flush draw. Here we're just going to keep blasting the queens for value. Check here. Take that down. Check shove works. Check here. And here with the queens, the 7's actually, I think, a good card, because when I raise, I don't think he has enough 7s. So I think we just go for value. At least that folds. Basically targeting like a 9, you know, pocket 8s, pocket 10s, ace 9, stuff like that. And here in these 3-bet pots, he actually 2-bet really small. I'm not sure about the shove. I feel like the shove's the most fold equity, and that's probably the best way to play that hand. Against Sid the Nitty Kid, we're 3-betting jacks, and then shoving over a 4-bet. Raise the ace king suited. If Brave Sir, wow, just calls. Interesting. I was gonna say, if Brave Sir Robin 4-bet cold 4-bet, I would just fold. And on this board, I'm gonna go 10%. We're going to check back when the jack carries the turn. And then he checks to us again. We'll just value that river. 10, nice. Honestly, when he cold calls the flop, and then he's willing to bet, I just think he has ace king or ace queen a lot. So with 2 overcards out there, I'm just going to get out of the way with my jacks. I don't expect him to be bluffing, and I don't expect him to be value betting. Worse there, pretty much ever. I guess we just fold the king 8 there. Okay, top left. Check to him, he bets small, called. We pick up the flush draw here, we're gonna call again. And then we'll check to him. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll fold the 4 deuce. The ace jack versus the button opens a 3-bet. This guy's trying to steal a lot. I'm doing this, doing that. So, this board, I think we'll go half pot here. And he calls. I think we can go half pot again. He has some 5-6, some 6-7. Yeah, it's interesting. Where is it? Where is it? Wow. Thing is, I don't know what he would bluff, but like, no matter what he has, that doesn't make any sense. It's sort of the issue. Like, we just put him on a 3, massive value that net, raise called 6-7 off on the gun, where's mid position 3-bet flop, so raise called 9-6 suited under the gun, just in a pair called flop and check raise turn 2 pair, do not put on the screen, head up. I guess I just fold. Might get paid here because it's such a random play. It is only at L50. We were pretty deep, I think. Man, it just makes no sense for him to have value here. Yeah, it's fucking good. I don't know. That's like horrendous, in my opinion. Ace ball would be hilarious, but like, I need it confusing. I need to cash there. It just made absolutely no logical sense there at all. I don't know why I try to hero prop people. But what do you do? I mean, the guy called king queen off pre-flop. That's bad. Called the half pot turn or flop bet. That's bad. And then in position with no flush draws or straight draws out there, shoved the queen, which is, I mean, it worked because it got me to call him. It's so bad. It only worked because it was that bad. Like, called king queen off. First small blind, do that in button. Called 6-6 deuce rainbow flop, then shoved. And shoved over turn top. 1. I don't know. I don't know if he's bluffing. I'm not really sure what the play was there. Alright, make trips on the river. It's good. We get some of that donk off back here. Queen 10. At least some of it comes back to us. I don't know. I'm fine with the call. I'm not tilted by it. I think you gotta trust your gut when you can. The only issue with calling there, I don't know. I like to call when people do stuff that makes absolutely no sense. And if he had a pocket pair, he's never doing that. And theoretically, when he has a queen, he's not really ever going to do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Is kind of what it comes down to. Okay, we're going to value bet here. We'll go with the half pot because it's a relatively dry board. No action. Okay, we call the 3-bet. Flop top pair. We're going to check calling here. Like, if he's out of position, I guess that's kind of one thing. Like, to raise in position there, just, that's a terrible turn card. It would theoretically slow him down with a lot of his range, but yeah, if he's just going full pot, he's obviously just, you know, whatever. That just makes no sense at all to do that. I don't even know if GTO says it's proper or not, I wonder. But in a 3-bet pot, so where is that hand? 129? This one here. Raise the ace 3 suited. 6 if you We're gonna just call the 4s here. And fold here. Over the top. So short stack. I don't know, it's kind of weird, like full 3x on the button. I don't want to 3-bet, I don't really want to call. Let it go. Anyways, let's just look at this hand again. So he raises, we 3-bet, he's supposed to fold, he doesn't, he calls. On this flop, we go half pot, so our range, when we go half pot there, I think that's probably a pretty standard bet sizing. And ace jack, 6-6 deuce, we bet half pot, calls. And then we bet half pot again on the turn, which is all pretty standard. And then he shoves. Just like he never has a 6. I don't know. I think it's terrible. I think generally speaking, hero calling an ace there is probably bad. Because he's a fish, so like fish will do stuff like this. I guess is probably what I should have been thinking. But in reality, a decent player would never do this. Like I have ace queen, I have kings, I have aces, and 6s never. A 6 never just shoves turn like that. Anyway, moving on. Okay, just snap leads into us. I guess we just let that go. Over the top, playing 64% of hands, so we'll just be looking for that. Chicken parm is just opening every button, obviously, and then like not folding. So we're just gonna be looking to go post flop in 3-bet pots and stuff with stronger ranges, and then stack him whenever possible. Decrease our 3-betting with sort of marginal hands if they're unwilling to fold, which we have seen. This guy, I think, what are our notes here? Yeah, I called like raise called 6-7 off, raise called 6-9 suited, raise called king queen off. So in those cases, we sort of 3-betting like strong hands and then stacking them, essentially. Okay, the queen 10 we fold. Probably decimated our winnings here today. Yeah, that's. Oh, and then we just lost. Got most of it back, and then we just lost every hand since. Okay, fold 10-3. Alright, set of 6s. Okay. He bets really small, so he probably doesn't have much of a hand here. We're gonna call. Yeah, 6. We'll check to him one more time. He does raise, so that's good. We're gonna check raise at this point. We're gonna 3-bet these full suited. Wow, call. That's interesting. I'm gonna rip this. So if he has a 10, he's not folding. If he has 7-8, he's not folding. Sucks because he probably just has an overcard. He's tanking. Ray with the donk shove. Let's let that piece 4 suited go. Come on, bro. Call the 10. Fold the jack 9. Come on. K2 pair, we're going to raise if he leads. And we'll just go full pot. Fold the 6-5, fold the king 8. Yeah, I think once we check call flop, check raise turn, he calls, and the 10 falls. When we beat the 10, I think shoving's good. I think we want, when he has a 10, I want him to just call. Pocket 4s or pocket 5s. Or straight. I think all those hands call most of the time. Fold to 10-3. The king 8 will fold, the 6 deuce will fold, the king deuce suited will fold, and the 10-5 will fold. I am a little annoyed for stacking that ace, but again, I still think it makes no sense for him to have value there, so. And then we're just beating all of his bluffs. The other issue to the whole thing is that there's not really any bluffs because there's no draws out there. Still, it's the turn, like it just makes no sense. There's not a single card that's going to scare anybody away from anything. So to shove your value there just like makes me fold 100% of the time almost. Anyways, Called with nothing, called with nothing. Bink the queen. What do you do? Usually we win free. Usually we win on the flop. Usually we win on the turn. Okay, fold the 8 deuce, fold the 10-7. Right. Okay, 9-8 suited we raise, fold the jack 9. Okay, we'll go half pot. And we'll go half pot again. Take it down. Against, not sure. We're gonna call the 9s. I have to check that. I think it's a 3-bet against the black open though. Okay, and we'll just go half pot here. Fold the 5 deuce. That actually might just be a block bet. More than it is a half pot bet. Raise the 7s, take down the 9s. Okay, we're gonna open the king queen. Canadian king 3 bets. We're gonna defend the 7s. And against a small c bet, we're of course gonna check. He checks back. Looks like chicken parm left. I think we block bet the 7s here. You know? Fold the 9-8. Fold the queen 4. Fold the queen 4. Fold the ace 4. Fold the ace 6. Check the ace 6 off. Okay, the 10-3 suited we fold. I think I'm just gonna keep barreling with the open ender here. I think doing a lot of double barreling is gonna be pretty profitable, so you want to keep pushing for that. Fold the 3 deuce. Looks like there is another NL 100 table opening up. Slip onto there. It does make tracking the tables a little bit harder. Here at a position, I'm just gonna go big. I think that's not a great turn card. Guess we block bet now, and we block bet again. Yeah, that sucks. I guess you just. Does he ever bluff in here becomes the question. We're getting 4-1. Have a set. We beat pocket 6s. Thing is 7, 8, 8, 9, 6, 7. Mostly just call. Question becomes: does he raise the 10 on the turn or not? I think with a set, getting 4-1, we probably just have to call here. Yeah. Maybe that's just a bad call, but I think when you're getting 4-1 and you have a set, you probably just have to call there. You throw it a little tilt. Okay, fold the king 4. Fold the jack 6 off. Okay, raise the jack 10. Raise the ace 9. Raise the ace queen suited. Raise the ace queen. Yeah, I don't know. I think if we're folding a set there, it's probably a little split. Okay, this board we just check. Queen Jack we can raise. Jack 10 we just check here. Against half pot we can call. Raise these 3 suited. This board will continuation bet with the king. Check here, check here, check here. And we're going to double barrel here for sure. Probably missed a c-bet there. And I mean, we're just going to call the queen jack, do a min click when we're in position. And we'll defend the queen deuce suited. I think this was the hand here. Yeah, this hand here with the royal flush draw. If we got raised, we just jam it. Too much equity to fold. And I wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to just call and then fold rivers. I'm gonna stab small against him when he min clicks and then checks that board. Now we're just gonna try to check down. Okay, the flush draw. We're gonna bet. We'll go bigger on this board texture. And we'll happily check down river. Again, like calling that turn stupid. Just fold. We got no diamonds. We're not doing anything, so we're not bluffing enough to call, I don't think, on a board like that. Ace 10 suited, we raise. Okay, we win it with the ace 6. Fold jack deuce. Fold king 4. Fold the 9-10 off as well. Okay, let's go to the flop here. Check fold. Okay, we're gonna overbet now. He checks back flop. Snap calls. Interesting. We'll try to show down here, I guess. Pair of 4s. Jack 10. Okay. So he thinks for a little bit and then checks. We do bet the jacks here sometimes. We check them sometimes. Just like, I don't know. Probably have to call one, but we are going to be folding turn. We're folding river. And we'll 3-bet this suited hand every once in a while. Yeah. Just that delay on the flops. And indicative of an ace. And then his betting sizes after that too. Okay, fold the 9-4. Min clicks it, we're gonna call. Alright, we'll let that one go. Perfectly fine. We're getting odds to basically getting odds to set money. Like implied odds with his stack size and his tiny 3-bet. Okay, so we ISO here. This guy leads out, kind of makes it easy for us. We just fold 3 ways. We're just gonna get out of the hand. Okay, we flop 2 pair. Call here. Dry board, king 8 deuce, pretty standard c-bet. Okay, we're gonna go for value here with 2 pair. And we'll go for some more bet there. With this kicker, I think we do bet check back most of the time. Even when the flush rolls off, I think we just go for value here still. Okay, pocket kings. Sid the nitty kid. 3-bet him. Raise the ace queen. Hold the 9-6. And obviously if he 4-bets this, it's just a shove. Merlot. 3-bet king queen off. He's 3-betting king queen off, then we have to call his queen. Okay, versus full pot bet, we just fold, makes it easy for us. The bigger their bet sizing, the less often we need to defend. So obviously when you brick it and they go full pot, we just fold. No point calling an ace. Okay. Fold, fold. Okay, so we open the 4 deuce, and then this guy donk leads into us. We obviously call, and then just 2 X shots. Okay, oh, we fold. Easy enough there. Okay. Here in the top right, we 3-bet the ace queen versus the button. We get ace 9 10 flop. We go half pot calls. Not the greatest of turn cards. Hearts come in, 10 pairs up. Probably just have to check the side here. Still beating ace jack. Be losing to ace 10, ace king, losing to hearts. So I think, well, that's a good river card. Then the question becomes, what do we do to get paid? I think we just block bet. I think a block bet looks like pocket kings. Pocket kings, pocket queens most of the time when we take this line. So I think that's probably our best bet to get paid. And then the only hand we lose to is pocket 10, so we just call. Yeah, so we got lucky on the river there. Okay. Well, check here, check fold here, king jack suited raise. Okay. So I imagine we're probably even, right on 0 or around that on the day. Yeah, right at 0. I still like that hero call we made, even though it was like horrendously wrong. It just, the guy having value there was crazy. It is basically 7, short stream again. But pocket aces, raise those. 10-8 suited will call. And just be check folding, fold 4-3, fold the 8-4. Like these, fold here. It's probably not going to get any action here because you have aces. Calls at least. We better set our sit out here. Okay, hold, hold. And okay, raise the aces. Here's shrinking. 4 deuces a fold, ace deuce suited, we bump up. No action over here. Yeah, so whatever. All pretty standard. Kind of had a big stretch of just sort of running bad there and missing every flop, whatever. And then we made a hero call that didn't pan out, so all that's good. So we're still sitting at about 3,900. We did hit our 4K goal for about 30 seconds. But let's just check the monthly stretch here so far. Fold 7-3. Ace jack suited, we're going to bump up. Fold to 10-6. So far this month, we've played 11,000 hands, we're up 12,000. Sorry, we've played 11,000 hands, we're up 1,200. Lots of NL50, NL100 mixed, so far that's a pretty good result. I think we can just c-bet here. We do too much. I think we do a little bit too much c-betting out of position, so we're going to look to tighten that up. Do a little bit of studying on that, studying 4-bet pots as well. A lot of surprises in the small blind and big blind, to be honest, in 3-betting and 4-betting. So we're going to buckle down a little bit more on that. So, but yeah, anyways, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, ask some questions. We're taking this to 100K. I think we can do it, actually. In all honesty, I think